And welcome to night 2 action at the Under-23 National Australian Championships. We're down here at West Beach on beautiful Ghana land, and West Beach has delivered yet again another very coolish night. Anthony Stormy with us tonight. We've got two very special guests on the microphone with us. We've got the Port Adelaide superstar Jessica Golden and the Walkerville superstar Alicia Peters. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
We'll get through some introductions and we'll get to it, but the blue umpires don't want to stay out in the cold any longer. Georgia Hood leading us off with a big kicking rise ball as she throws the first missile to the ACT leadoff and catcher Sarah Lawrence. Hood just a little inside there on her second pitch. She falls behind in the count, 0-2. We'll go around the teams in just a moment. South Australia coming off of a tie-breaking win just recently, a few hours ago, against Western Australia. So they've already played once today. And bang, just like that, Lawrence goes out to right field. Ruby Fidge comes in on it. It's fallen short of her. And just like that, Sophie Lawrence finds herself at second base as the ACT leadoff is on, bringing to the plate Michaela Facer. So, what did you see? This is the replay just here, girls. What are we seeing there? Bit of swirl and wind.
Yeah, those are the worst hits because it just kind of drops in no man's land, and Ruby did a good job of trying to get to it, just couldn't in time.
Oh, inside. Just there, nice and fast. So,
yeah.
Jessica, you'd be so behind the plate. You're expecting runner at 2, none out early in the game. Will we be worrying about the bunt stuff, or are we hitting away, just going for it here?
Oh, tough ball. Yeah.
There we go. The old coach and me coming out. So, interesting days. ACT have also played today, and they're coming off the back of a 20-5 win over Western Australia. So their bats lit up in a big way. So both teams showing some positive offensive form coming into the day. Georgia Hood in front of the count here. Change up. Just hangs on to it a little bit longer, and it goes high in the zone to level up not level up the count, but 1 ball, 2 strikes. What type of pitch are we looking to hit here? Just
something just behind the runner, just to get her to home, or at least to third base. Right now, you gotta move her over.
Like that?
Yep, just like that.
Bang, down the right field line. Sophie Roberts has made a play, but not before the ACT leadoff with some serious wheels has gone along and scored. And just like that, 2 batters into the game, and the ACT have already put their first run up on the board. Bang. C-Max replay here. You wanted it behind the runner. Couldn't have got much better than that.
No, perfect placement right there.
Good base running. Coach Richard McCready sends the runner home. And South Australia taking this opportunity to have a real quick gather in the middle, just to get themselves together as they find themselves still none out, bringing to the plate. The next player up is Caitlin McCready. Hood challenges her low. So, well, bang, just like that, we're into we've got a 1-0 game already. It's just like that. So they obviously lit up WA in the earlier game today, so you'd expect the ACT to be fairly aggressive. Good pitch, but great bunt by McCready, who's a tall player, but she's done her job well. Lee Hull would be proud of that. She's sacrificed herself to advance the runner over to third, and the ACT all up and about in a big way. And we've replaced one McCready with the other McCready as her sister, Sam, the centre fielder, comes in to bat in the clean-up spot. It's a really good it's a good bunt.
Very good bunt. Just exactly what she needed to do in that situation.
Yeah, great back control.
Yeah, being a tall girl, she stayed on top of it. Hood challenged her up, and she was so many times you just see players just pop that ball up and the infield double it up. So she did a really good job there. So a very aggressive start by the ACT. We'll get to having a bit of a chat about the McCready family, who are dominant in this ACT team. Change up. Blue likes it a lot, so much that he's rung it up. And Hood finds herself in front of the count. 2 strikes. Again, another change up. Adams stays low with a baseball pitcher's arm. She's throwing her out over to Sophie Roberts at first as South Australia get the important second out, but not before the ACT runner has gone off the hit and gone ahead and scored. And so Georgia Hood 2 out, bringing to the plate now Sarah Nolan, first base. Aggressively after the first pitch. You ladies first pitch swinging?
I am. If it's right there, might as well.
I am usually not.
Yeah.
I want to see one.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. An important at bat here for the ACT. Keep the pressure on SA. Hood challenges her up. Nolan goes after it, beats her for pace. And Hood again finds herself ahead in the count. Probably a change of pace we expecting here. No, down and low in the dirt. So Hayley Benithan, the catcher for South Australia tonight. Sophie Roberts over at first. Maddie Scott, second base. Taylor Chillingworth, shortstop. Neve Adams at third. Hood about to deliver the pitch. And Nolan out in front fouls that one off into the fence behind. Out at left field we have got Charlize Callahan, Abby Jorgensen, who's having a great tournament so far at centre field, and Ruby Fitch, who we've already mentioned, over at right. There's the change up, but Nolan sits her hands back on it, sees all of it, and puts it in a 6-5 hole in a big way with a line drive shot to left field. Here's the replay. It's a nice piece of the ball.
It was a great job on that pitch too. Just stayed back and just put it where it should be right there.
And so that brings up to the plate right fielder Alex Maiden, as Benithan comes out to Hood. I think this is the first time this pairing's worked together this week. So how difficult is it when you're in a representative team you've only spent a couple of days in camp with your teammates? You probably know them, but obviously Hayley's one of our internationals over in the college system in the US. To build up that repetition, that repertoire between pitcher and catcher?
Yeah, it's very difficult because as a catcher, you don't know what pitches she likes, what her go-to is, so you have that couple minutes, like warm-ups, to try to figure that out for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to take a couple pitches to kind of get comfortable with her and what she throws, especially going into 2 outs and trying to get them into the next inning.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hood gets it past. ACT already with a 2-run early jump on the home team, South Australia. A game where there's plenty of implications in it as far as the ladder goes. Hood down and low again, just a bit of off speed, not a change up probably, but it's good enough to commit the hitter to it. Maiden now levels the count up at 2-2. Good disciplined batting there. and a really well-picked walk, and my apologies to Alex Maiden because she's coming to the plate now. That was Caitlin Savage at third base, so forgive me for the first time that I've seen the ACT lineup. I'm trying to get my head around it as quickly as I can. I do apologise to both families there for those that are tuning in from ACT back home. All right, here we go, 2 out, runner at first. Now it's Maiden to the plate. Hood just trying to find some control. She's throwing rockets out there. You can hear it just slapping into the glove of Benithan, but she's just not hitting her spots just yet. Early days, cold night here at West Beach, South Australia. Hood probably expecting a little bit more out of that particular pitch. What are your thoughts there? Look across the letters. So
yeah, she's trying really hard, but the ACT hitters are just being so smart, seeing that that's been a ball all day, so they're just gonna lay off of it.
Hood finally gets her reward with a strike. Behind in the count here, 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Runners at 1 and 2 for the ACT, so still danger signs here for SA. And as I said, a game with big implications in it. She's grounded out over to Sophie Roberts. And wow, just like that, AC2 jump, base runners everywhere. So we're just going to take a quick break and we'll be back with you shortly. And we are back here for night 2 action, ACT v South Australia. ACT have just had their first opportunity to bat and have jumped out to a quick 2-0 lead. South Australia get their right of reply. Sitting in the commentary box with me tonight, 2 superstars of the American system that have travelled the world, Alicia Peters and Jessica Golden. So they're with us on the mic tonight. It's their first night, so it's pretty cold down here, so we're working it out as we go. So give us some positive feedback, give us some shout outs on Facebook if you want to have a chat, and we'll get you involved in the game here. So for South Australia, Hayley Benithan, the catcher, is leading off, and for ACT, it's the flex, Rachel McKinnon. Hayley having a great tournament so far. One of the South Australian under-23s that's come back from the college just for this and the Gillies Shield. She gets straight after that one and she drives it up the middle, and she continues a good couple of days of work as Benithan leads off South Australia.
Yeah, it's a great hit by Hayley, just starting things off for South Australia. Exactly what they needed in this type of situation, going into the inning behind.
Brings to the plate South Australia's centre fielder, Abby Jorgensen. Jorgensen wastes no time. She gets after it, jammed on the handle. She rolls it over to first, but she's pretty much done the job that maybe would have been asked, because she's advanced Benithan over to second, and South Australia already have got a runner in scoring position, as that brings the dangerous Georgia Hood to the plate. Australian squad member, just come back from Pensacola State, where she's had a great season over there in her first year in the US system. So obviously people have got some tickets tonight to some event that's quickly, everybody's swinging early. Is it that cold they're trying to get out of here, or what's going on?
I think they're trying to bounce back as fast as they can, being down now, and having that runner in scoring position just brightens everybody's eyes.
Great change up that just hangs there, but Hood's good enough to keep her hands back, flies out to right field as Benithan tags up smartly, goes back to second, and it's a great play at right field by Alex Maiden, who's made a great catch, got the ball in nice and quick, and as you just see there, Maiden takes the catch, gets the ball in front of the runner nice and quickly. Left fielder come around the back to back it up anyway. So ACT looking very dialed in here in the opening 15 minutes of night 2 action of the Under-23 National Championship for the Joyce Lester Shield. South Australia now 2 out as clean-up hitter Taylor Chillingworth, the shortstop. Hit a couple of triples last night, one that sort of put SA in that position for that big victory over Victoria last night. Any chance catching any of that action, girls, last night?
I did not, sadly.
I heard about it.
Yeah, I'm in finals right now, so I've been spending my nights studying.
Oh, right, okay. And we'll get to what you're studying shortly as we'll dissect that. But this game is at a cracking pace as McKinnon here has a runner in scoring position behind her at second, but Chillingworth at the plate. Tonight, South Australia's Batgirl is Chloe Davis. She's a state rep of the under-14 and under-16 team from the Hills Association, and ironically, she's Taylor Chillingworth's cousin. So a little bit of extra motivation for Chilly there as she grounds that ball into the ground at shortstop, but it's bounced a couple of times. The ACT shortstop, McCready, has come in, but Taylor Chillingworth quick enough to get up the first base line. You just see here in the replay.
Yeah, that's a play where the shortstop just has to run into the runner because that's an out every time. And you can see she just hesitated when she saw the runner go in front of her.
And you can tell, too, that Taylor doesn't hesitate and put her head down and get defeated, even though she knows she's kind of hitting that ball into the dirt right to the shortstop, but she hustles all the way through and makes a safe call. Yeah,
Great analysis from 2 superstars of softball. Lucky to have them here tonight. Chillingworth, a great athlete. Huge levers, she's a tall girl, and she's beat that out. Coming to the plate, her Port Adelaide teammate back home, Charlize Callahan, playing left field tonight. Callahan fouls that one off, so SA got runners in the corners here at 1-3, but 2 out. Probably wouldn't expect any shenanigans here, or are we expecting Chile to test that arm from the ACT early, or we want to sort of just go on a strong bat here?
I think they're going to go on a strong bat.
Yeah, you got 2 outs, runner on first and third. You're just trying to get her home at this point.
High in the zone. Yep. You can see that the ACT defense definitely defending the fence at the moment. They're obviously just looking to make the out here. They only need the one to get out of this innings. Callahan, though, could level it up with a tying run over at first. That's not going to feel good
hurts for
at
sure.
any time, no.
Hurts.
But when it's 10 degrees, it's going to be even
Yeah.
worse. Oh, boy.
I did that once at Buffalo when it was snowing during our game. Oh, I went down crying.
Yeah.
Awful.
I wasn't laughing about that, no, not at all. But, yeah, wow. So, the flex McKinnon. Big pitch coming up in the context of this game. Ahead of the count. She goes for that changeup. It sits again, and Callahan chases it up. The ball is fair at left field, and she picks herself up an RBI as South Australia bounce straight back. Chillingworth slides into third. You can just see that changeup just hangs there, and Callahan goes after it.
And that's great base running by Taylor Chillingworth as well, trying to get all the way to third.
2 bases, yeah. She loves that extra base. As you can see, Zoe Thompson there. So, Maddie Scott's the second base player for South Australia, comes in. Last night she was the walk-off in the 9-2 victory over Victoria with a shot to left field. So when we saw her when she left these shores years ago, she was a right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher, and now she's come back as a second base specialist, left-handed hitter. And bang, she line drives that ball through the shortstop, and it goes all the way to the fence as Scott keeping the pressure on. ACT getting it back, and Scott, her last at-bat last night and her first at-bat tonight are mirror images of each other as Maddie Scott goes bang and South Australia bounce straight back.
Yeah, she's a very strong hitter. I actually see her all the time working in the cages. Every time I'm there, she's there with her dad, putting in the work and grinding.
And she does a great job letting the ball travel too and taking that ball opposite field.
Yeah, Maddie Scott, obviously the daughter of South Australian baseball legend Andrew Scott. Sophie Roberts at the plate, the first base player. Opportunity to extend South Australia's lead, and already we've been playing this game for 20 minutes and we're 3-2, the ball's flying everywhere. It's game on.
It is. Seems like a hitter's game today.
So that changeup seems to be coming out of the back of the hand there. So maybe it's obvious because both the South Australian hitters, as they've seen that hand turn, Hood first, Callahan second, they've both been able to see that, keep their hands back, and both put shots into the field.
Yeah, they're doing a great job when they see that changeup, not trying to do too much. They don't want to put over the fence. They're just putting it into play right now, and it's paying off.
Roberts takes a pitch. 3 balls and a strike. Roberts gets that high on the handle over to second base, and it hasn't unfortunately been picked up cleanly by the second base Michaela Facer there. Just got a bit of a bad hop, and Roberts is able to pick up an RBI for her work as she scores the runner. As Maddie Scott is scored, and South Australia 4-2. Brings to the plate right field Ruby Fidge. South Australia 2 out at the moment. Takes a strike. 1-1. Rachel McKinnon, tall pitcher for the ACT. Pitching to Sophie Lawrence. Fidge grounds out to the pitcher, and we get a chance to take a breath here and just sort of regroup from a game that's just gone bang, bang, bang. So, what have you seen so far in the opening 1 innings? We've got 6 to go. Just
aggressiveness, and even when people are mishitting the ball, they're just running full speed, and it's paying off for both teams currently.
Yes, definitely. Nobody's letting up. That's for sure.
So after you've won your game earlier in the day at a championships like this, and you've scored 20, what's the coach telling you when you're playing the home state later that night? What type of message do you think you would have been delivering to the players to sort of get ACT back in tune? Because they look absolutely switched on, 100% ready to go here tonight.
Mm-hmm. I think when you're playing well, your coach is going to let you keep doing whatever you're doing. So just have fun, relax, and play the game you love, because your guys are doing great right now.
Yeah, and another game is just another day, so.
Absolutely. And we talked about, I talked about the implications earlier. So with Victoria just losing the game just previous to this, and we'll go through the results in a second. So this particular game now, obviously with the ACT, they've got the 1 win, 3 losses. SA have picked up an extra win. So obviously now this game tonight's a 4-point game when you consider SA can really make a bold statement for the 4 and sort of take a big step forward, whereas ACT, to stay in touch, they need these points tonight, so they must go hard. Hood challenges early, down, and Blue checks it and likes what he sees. So at the plate is the designated player, number 14, Michaela Tui. My apologies to the family if I'm saying that wrong. That's just how I'm interpreting it on the board. So Hood throws a missile in hard, but Michaela's good enough to get her hands around and foul it off down the right field line. And Hood picks up her standing strikeout. Last inning she had a couple of funny faces on a couple of pitches, but she likes, she's got one back there.
Yeah, and it's looking like the Blue is really liking the low pitches right now, not so much the high ones, so she's doing a great job keeping that ball low.
Yeah.
She's made that great adjustment from last inning when she wasn't getting that pitch called in the rise ball, so
Yes,
good adjustment by Hood.
Awesome. And that's the type of thing, like at national championships, that type of level of the detail in the game just gets picked up so much quicker than it does back in clubland. So
yeah, for sure, especially like at this type of level, you can't be worried about what the umpire's calling. You just see what he's calling, you gotta adjust to that. Doesn't matter what your best pitch is that day.
Exactly.
You better make it that best pitch.
great pickup by the catcher, Hayley Benithan, behind the plate as that ball is in the dirt, as Jess was alluding to before, as Hood trying to get back in front in the count. Currently behind at 2-0 at the moment. Talia Saunderson. I'm going to go with Saunderson there because it looks like there's an extra letter. This is the left fielder at the plate, Saunderson. I've been given the green light by the scorer, so I'll take it. Speaking of left field, she grounds out left side. Chillingworth shuffles over. Good feet for an Australian infielder there as she has picked up the important out.
Yeah, great play by Taylor Chillingsworth right there.
Yeah, she's an athlete.
She is, for sure.
Obviously spoken about last night by James Harris on the commentary that she's been signed by San Jose.
Yep, she's going to do great things out there too, for sure.
Hood with a change-up as we come back to the top of the lineup, just like that. Sophie Lawrence, the catcher, getting her second at-bat. An aggressive start for her at the front of the game. Just for those that may be watching, just looking to try and get an update for you on the game on Diamond 2. And I haven't got that result for you at the moment, but as soon as we get some information, we will keep you posted. But the ACT trying to get some runs back after SA replied with 4 of their own in the first. 2 out. It's the leadoff, Sophie Lawrence, trying to repeat some earlier heroics from the first innings. High as Hood continues to use the count to her benefit, levelling it up at 2-2. 2 out. South Australia 4, ACT 2, top of the second. Change up. Chillingworth stays low as the ball's hit to her at shortstop, and a regulation 6-3. And just like that, after a first innings where the ACT scored 2, base runners on the corners, second innings it's 1-2-3. Great fielding by Chillingworth.
Yeah, she does a great job staying down on that ball.
As South Australia will look to extend their lead as they go into the bottom of the second. So a couple of US superstars that are travelling the world playing softball. How's that working out for you? What's you would have been promised that South Australia's warm, sunny, beautiful.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what's your experience of West Beach so far?
Not warm and sunny. Maybe 3 days it's been warm and sunny.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've brought some bad luck, I guess.
We brought that
Australia.
weather.
No,
this year.
I think don't worry, there's been plenty of that going around. So Alicia Peters in the local competition just hitting a couple of bombs so far, hitting 300 plus, been a big offensive plus for the Walkerville Cats in the local league. And Jess Golden just obviously catching for Port Adelaide, but you've just lit the league up, 500 plus, and you're just a player that people are coming down to the ballpark to watch. It's crazy.
Oh, yes. I love when people are there.
Yeah. So we've got some expert analysis tonight as we've got a couple of US superstars on the mic. That's the accent. They're not putting it on. McKinnon for the ACT. Pitching to the tall Neve Adams from South Australia. Tonight, Neve is playing at third base, her regular spot back home in club competition for the Sturt Falcons, down from Port Pirie. So the game's starting to settle down. A little bit of pace has just come off a little bit. We're starting to have a little bit more of a look into counts now, girls, in that regard.
Yeah, people seem to be just calming down. They're not as anxious to hit right now. They're just going to work the count to their advantage.
Yeah, and they're definitely probably feeling a little bit more comfortable now, coming back and scoring those 4 runs in the first inning.
Yeah, they don't have to press as hard now.
So when you got an obvious sign like that change-up that we saw out of the back of the hand, has that become a trigger that you're sort of looking for through the count? Or are you just sort of still treating every ball in its merit early here?
I think it depends on the type of batter you are. You can either say, I'm not swinging until I see a changeup, and you're just waiting for that to see the back of the hand. Or you can say, I'm hitting everything but that changeup. So when you see that fast speed come, that's what you're hitting.
Personally, when I see it coming out of the hands that slow, I usually try to lay down a bunt if I'm early in the count.
Yeah,
if I was fast like Jess, I'd probably do that too.
Adams has had a couple of balls low beneath the knees and some good catching. But this time she can wait no longer. She likes that one from McKinnon and gets after it. 3 balls, 1 strike for the South Australian leadoff in the bottom of the second. SA 4, ACT 2. And a well-picked walk. And as an old coach, you love seeing the leadoff get on. It doesn't matter how. So you've got Benithan, who's on a tear at the moment in the tournament, just hitting the lights out, looking amazing. You still sacrificing here in an advancing situation, or are you just going to let
I
the
don't
count?
think so. They're up by 2 right now. Haley's on a roll. Let her do her thing.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to keep the momentum going, swinging the bats.
Adams has got wheels too, so anything's possible here. It's McKinnon. Challenges low and inside. As Jess called out before, McKinnon trying to exploit that part of the zone, not having a lot of success at the moment. Ball just dipping a little bit early at the plate. Just needs to adjust her radar here, put some pressure back on the SA hitters. Just in case anybody was wondering, Benithan goes after it in a big way just there. Ball up in the zone. And she goes again as she line drives this ball through second base, comes off the glove super hard, and once again the right fielder Alex Maiden cuts that ball down, gets the ball over to third as quick as she can, but Adams utilises her speed and gets around. Benithan seeing the ball like a watermelon at the moment.
And that's why you don't bunt her in that situation. Just let Haley do what she does.
That's it.
Great
that's
base running by the girls too.
That's Alicia Peters, the player, soon to be a coach with that type of insight.
No, I just play with Haley. I see what she does.
Abby Jorgensen comes to the plate with runners at 2 and 3. none out. And South Australia now starting to pile on some early pressure to ACT. Benitha's just smashing the ball.
She smashes the ball. My first impression of her, I was watching her do a front toss, and I think I just stood there in the field. I was like, wow, you're amazing, Haley.
Inside out hitting by Jorgensen as she goes to right field behind the runners, scoring Adams as easy as you like. And that's not an easy task. That's great team batting as South Australia go 5-2 up, none out in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, South Australia is doing a great job hitting that outside pitch and taking it opposite field, not trying to get around the ball and pull it, and just taking it where it's at.
Yeah, you can see everyone's just doing their job, which is just to get on, make contact as hard as you can right now.
Yeah, that's awesome team batting at a national championship, and Coach McCready has seen enough of what's going on there, and he's made a change, so we'll try and figure it out. So McCready's a name that you'll get used to seeing at the ACT. Obviously anybody that follows the Diamonds know of the McCready family in that regard. So Richard McCready, ex-Australian assistant coach, but obviously husband of the superstar that was Sally McCready, who is the two-time Olympian, five-time World Championship player for the Australian Spirit, and obviously has a resume that would be envious of any of the players. Have you heard of Sally McCready?
I have, actually, yes. Yeah, that's tough to live up to.
Yeah, and obviously having mum and dad at the national championships in the shed, the two daughters out there both playing in their second under 23s, Caitlin and Sam. Caitlin, the shortstop, Sam, the centre fielder. So, ever coached by your parents?
Oh, yeah, and that stopped very quickly.
How about you, Jess?
No, never.
No? Just good supporters, just driving you to the ballpark?
Paying for everything.
I coached my daughter for a season in under 12s, and that's actually ended my coaching career, but that's okay.
Yep.
I've moved on, so
yeah, no hurt feelings.
yeah, she's still at home too, which is, she's 12, so I suppose that's fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So we've got a new pitcher. Number 3 is that Tioni? Is that a T or a J at the start there, scorer? Tioni Lamb has come into the plate. So forgive me back home in the ACT, am I doing my best to read the writing here. So Tioni Lamb has come in. And bang, Georgia Hood, welcome to the game with a centre right shot, a double. As South Australia go back to back, hitting all on the right side as they start piling on the runs.
Yeah, that hits a game changer right there. New pitcher, you just take her yard right away. That's tough as the pitcher.
All the way out to the Spacequake CBS sign out at centre right field. That's great batting. Just went with it too. She didn't sort of use the pace of the pitch. As Lamb now gets no respite as the talented Taylor Chillingworth comes to the plate. Off pace there as Chillingworth goes up high. You just saw in that last replay the ball out at centre right. Underneath the scoreboard there out there, you see there's some young South Australian players. I know that one of the South Australian junior teams tonight at their training session, after training they've come in and they've decided that they're all going to work the scoreboard together. Bit of a team bonding experience. 10 degrees at West Beach, that's a rite of passage. Chillingworth goes bang down the third base line as that's all happening. And it's called foul by Blue. So that's a good team bonding experience. I mean, you can go and do all types of events and stuff like that, or you can go down to West Beach and man the scoreboard and get behind the 23s, your idols of the future.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it was like a no doubt for them. They want to watch the older generation play because that's exactly who they want to be.
Yeah, that's exactly how we were when we were younger
Started,
too,
yeah,
watching all the college athletes.
My favorite's like when you're younger, you don't have the metal cleats yet, and the 18-year-olds they walk by with, and you're just like, damn, I want the metal
What is
cleats.
that noise?
Yeah.
Chillingworth, again, fouls that ball off as Georgia Hood's made it all the way over and it's got to go all the way back. Pretty happy about that too. So that's Abby Georgia. No, that is Georgia Hood, sorry. Really should get my eyes checked. Lamb challenges again as Chillingworth goes up in the zone, fouling that ball way out in front, down the third base side.
And Taylor's doing a great job fouling off the pitches that she doesn't like, not trying to get ringed up or do too much, just kind of waiting for her pitch.
Great job by Taylor right there. That's awesome. That's a great at-bat.
Really good discipline there as South Australia get another base runner as Charlize Callahan, the left field player, comes in with Hood at second, Chillingworth at one, none out. And we're only in the bottom of the second. South Australia at 7, the ACT 2. We've had a pitching change as Tioni Lamb has come in, replacing Rachel McKinnon. Ball in the dirt. Good job there by Lawrence, keeping the ball in front and keeping the base runners pinned on their bag. So when you're 7-2 down in the second innings and it's all sort of working it out, what are you doing in a game like this to try and get your team back? Is it encouragement? What can you do as a team player at this point?
As a catcher, I'd bring the whole infield in and kind of tell everybody to take a deep breath, like we got this. We have no outs, but we can get there. And then the game is always about scoring runs, so we can always come back, and there's a lot of game left in this ball game.
For sure. You just got to keep the energy up. Don't let the momentum get to you. It doesn't matter. Right now, they can get a double play easy, for sure.
I found this on the web for his
What the? Sorry, I've just pressed a button there and Siri's decided to jump in there and let me know what's going on. I was just going to say that's awesome insight because it must be tough for some of those younger players that are watching in regards to what to do when you feel like things are starting to get away from you quickly at a game at this level, as Callahan chases that pitch up, as Lamb strikes back, as the ACT get their first out. I think I need to turn off all of my electronics here. I've got no idea what I'm doing here. All right, we're good. We're good. Maddie Scott, the hero of the first, with that great piece of batting out to the left centre field fence, continuing on her good form so far of the tournament. The reason, that's producer Brandon, you can hear laughing in the background. The reason that happened was I was trying to check for all of our viewers over in Queensland and Victoria to let them know what's going on over in Diamond 2, and I pressed the wrong button, so I apologise. Low as Lamb trying to keep Scott from doing what she did in the first. For those that are watching on the Eastern Seaboard, it's Queensland, Victoria. The game has just started, first innings. Scott, meantime, here goes bang with a deep shot out to right field as she pulls it, advancing Hood to third, Chillingworth to second. But the ACT now have 2 outs with the dangerous Sophie Roberts coming to the plate.
Yeah, it's a good play right by the right fielder right there. It's a very, very important out.
Especially with the wind blowing like this too.
Roberts gets a rocket inside, stays off it. Runners in scoring position. Ball on the green here. A single by Roberts could score 2 and put ACT under some real pressure as they go into the third. Lamb, though, seeming to settle now after Georgia Hood welcomed her to the game with a centre-right shot. As Lawrence working overtime as the ACT try and exploit that low part of the zone that seems to be getting called more than the up. Roberts on the handle. just like the first at-bat, but this time unable to get it clear of the first base player, Sarah Nolan, who's come down and taken a good catch with the ball spinning away from her. I need to take a breath and just sort of regather myself after that wrong button pushing. It's not embarrassing at all. So other than the fact that we've brought great weather to Australia, how are you finding your experience here?
I'm really enjoying it. This is my first season overseas. I just got out of college, so I really didn't know what to expect, but so far so good for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my second season overseas, played in Germany the last 6 months. But it seems to me like I'm skipping winters wherever I go, so I'll definitely take it. But yeah, it's been nice having so many imports out here as well. We've been getting together with a lot of baseball imports, obviously the softball imports, so it's nice to have some people out here kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's definitely like a big family for the imports. Like, it's great. Any place we go, we're like, oh, you're from the U.S.? Great, me too, let's hang out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, there is a game coming up on the South Australian agenda where the Stars team, our state team, goes up against the mighty Stars and Stripes, because we've got enough imports in here just before the Gilly Shield kicks off in January 2023. So that's going to be a huge game. Really looking forward to that. Have you seen the uniforms?
We did, yes. We just
They
got
are
them today.
very cool.
Very cool for sure.
Speaking of cool, it's Georgia Hood in the top of the third as she throws hard and gets a ball. Doesn't seem to be super happy with what she's getting there at the moment. Just checking to see if I got lit up in the comments there, just to making sure that we're all okay. So we've got some people from all around the place watching it. So the only feedback we've got there so far is just to don't be afraid to speak up, girls. Apparently I'm super loud and you're not, so use your big voice. What a great pitch by Georgia Hood. Great breaking ball at the plate. Well called Benithan as the leadoff is retired by the under-23 South Australian team.
Yeah, it's a big out right there. You're responding great right now, Georgia Hood.
So, daughter of a coach, Caitlin McCready at shortstop. Must be difficult living in mum's shadow, but both of them forging a path for themselves going forward. McCready gets down on that ball, over to second base. Maddie Scott, call as you like, as she stays grounded and makes a good play there at second.
Yeah, it's a great job by Scott reading that bounce right there, because I've learned here at West Beach the ground's not very friendly to ground balls ever.
So in my checking up on what you used to do, you used to be a pitcher, Alicia, from all accounts.
Oh man, years ago.
Years ago?
But it seems when you go overseas and you mention you know how to, they think you're a pitcher.
The reason I asked is because you go from being a pitcher who's unfortunately had an accident and an injury, and then you went to third?
Yes, so I was a pitcher all my life growing up. I got in a car accident, kind of messed my shoulder up, and I was like, whatever, I just want to play, so let me find a spot in the field, and third base was open at the time when I was in high school, so I just took that one.
Oh, okay, so there wasn't any actual science behind it, it was
Nope,
just...
absolutely not, I just wanted to play.
Yeah, I love that. Hood goes ahead of the count against the, I believe, younger McCready, who's the center fielder, as 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hood in front of the count. Going to see a bit of a mix here now, Jess, you would think?
Yeah, definitely. And Haley's doing a great job behind the plate on that outside pitch, too, as well, keeping that inside and framing it for the umpire.
Good breaking ball there, too, as Hood retires McCready. as South Australia maintain their lead 7 runs to 2.
That's a dirty pitch right there.
That is, there's not a great deal you're going to be able to do with that.
No, filthy.
All right, so if you're tuning in from around Australia, let us know where you're from, and give us your thoughts on how this game's going. Give us your thoughts on anything softball related, because it's that time again as we go into national championships all through January around Australia. Obviously, the Gilly Shield as the SA Stars look to defend their first national championship in 66 years at home against some fairly impressive players that have come back into some of the other teams. So obviously now with the Nationals back in January, obviously the college the other teams, etc., got full access to their squad. So it's going to be an interesting January.
Yes, for sure. Should be exciting for softball here in Australia.
Yeah, I'm super excited to actually have no rainouts.
Yeah.
And be able to get some softball going.
No playing in the snow here too, which
Yes,
is huge
exactly.
plus.
Ruby Fidge leading off SA as we are in the bottom of the third here. SA 7, ACT 2, as Ruby Fidge, the right fielder, takes a pitch low and then gets after the next one and finds herself in all sorts of trouble behind in the count. 2 balls, none strikes. So we've got some people watching up in Darwin from Northern Territory. So hello to the Roberts. Barracking for the SA, we love that. Ruby fouling that one off, staying alive in the count. As Lamb gets the SA lead off, just what they needed.
Yeah, Lamb's looking more comfortable out there. She kind of understands the zone. She knows what she wants to pitch to these hitters now, so.
Both the ACT pitchers, both super tall. So
Oh, yeah, what do they feed them out there at ACT? I've been thinking about that all day.
Brings to the plate third base player Neve Adams, who scored in the early part of the game and has already got a good shot. So many times you see that happen. They swing at the first one and then the second one comes through and they watch it. What's that about? Is that shouldn't have swung at the first? Or Adams throws her hands out, gets the ball in the dirt to shortstop. McCready goes up the middle with it. It comes off her glove, flies out to center field as the other McCready, Sam, picks it up. It's a McCready fest at the ACT games as Adams gets herself on with another hard shot. SA hitting the ball super hard.
They are.
You can tell she didn't even finish her swing on that. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing really matters after the extension, but she really gets her hands to the inside pitch on that ball.
Bringing to the plate the dangerous Haley Benithan, and that ball's gone high in the air as a bunch of the ACT players come in. And is it miscommunication there? Or
No communication, actually.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of just looked at the person next to him like, oh, you're going to catch it?
So you see Benithan there, she's fouled that one off, goes first pitch aggressive, and yeah, it has just sort of fallen.
Yeah, but
And
you know what? That's a base hit in the book, so.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
When you look back, Abby Jorgensen, the centre fielder for South Australia, comes to the plate. SA 1 out now with runners at 1 and 2, and Hood and Chillingworth to follow. So Lamb, after just starting to find her range, now back against it.
Yeah, that's tough as a pitcher because, you know, it looks like you just got your defense 2 outs and now you're like kind of behind.
And she was definitely feeling comfortable there for a second.
Yeah.
Now she's a little bit on her toes.
Yeah, you can see now she's kind of starting to struggle again.
Good evening, Croft. I hope you're warm there at home with your nice glass of red. Enjoy that and enjoy the softball. As Jorgensen gets frozen by that pitch by Lamb. So we just got some feedback there that Tioni Lamb is a pickup for the ACT, originally out of the Hornsby district in New South. So it's maybe not what they're feeding her in the ACT.
Oh,
It seems to be something that's happening all the way down the east coast of Australia. So
good for her. I wish I was tall like that.
She does a great job keeping her composure in that last at bat as well,
She
painting
is,
that
for
outside
sure.
corner for those last 2 pitches.
Yeah, she's not really letting those last 2 hits that probably should have been outs bother her. She's like, nope, okay, I'll do it. I got it.
Exactly.
So Georgia Hood, who's the pitcher tonight for SA, she's got a change up that she set her hands back and made something work. And she's, whoa, just smashed the ball back at the pitcher. What just happened?
And that was a great job by the shortstop picking up the ball and getting rid of it right away.
That's
Yeah.
good team defense right there.
And just for the Lamb family at home, it's okay. She's walked off the diamond like nothing's happened, but wow. Hood has just hit that ball like a lightning bolt straight back at Lamb, deviates off the glove, and great call by our American superstar commentators who have let us know some great insight tonight as McCready has picked up on the spilt ball and gone and made a very important out in the context of this game. Check this replay out. Even in slow-mo, it doesn't look cool. That is, oh my God.
No, that's rough.
That's why
You can just tell, too, all positions do a great job staying patient, trying to get the ball to the last out.
Yeah, no one gave up on that in that situation, which is so
Exactly.
important.
So, South Australia threatened, but with some smart fielding by McCready off of a lightning shot from Hood, they get out of a jam. So Coach McCready asking some of his hitters here now to put the pressure back on SA. They currently have a 5-run lead here as we go into the top of the 4th. And forgive me, I haven't given you the update on the backfield game. Only a man can only do one thing at a time. Queensland have made a jump. They've gone out to a 1-0 lead over Victoria in the 2nd innings. Get you some more details in a second. Sarah Nolan at the plate. The first base who's taken a good catch so far tonight. Another tall player for the ACT.
Must be in the water out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Must have a big gym weights room or something like that. Nolan beaten for pace as that ball is on fire as Hood unleashes that pitch.
Yeah, Hood looks like she's in her element right now, and ACT just needs to relax and just put barrel to the ball right now.
It's going to sound like a terrible dad joke, but it's like Georgia Hood's just forgot to leave the VCR play and record on at home, and she's just got to show that she's got to go back and watch because she is in a rush. Good mix of pace though there as she smartly keeps the batter thinking. Nolan good enough though, as I think you said before, Jess, just in regards to Chillingworth, when she was just working through the count, fouling off what she needs to stay in the count, stay alive. Again, another off-pace
Exactly.
pitch. Important lead off for the ACT here. Top of the 4th. Needing to put some base runners on and put the home team under some pressure. Inside, down the 3rd base line. Adams stays low, makes a great play, gets the throw over, and Roberts good enough to lean off. I only just caught the last part of that, so she stays low, good fielding, ball low. Roberts times her jump. It looks like it was down the line a little bit, so Adams making her work for it. Bit of a pump there on the glove. Roberts collapses, but most importantly keeps her foot on the base, and bang. Just while we're sort of rehashing that, Scott, great effort diving up the middle, but Caitlin Savage, great shot up the middle to give the ACT, that important base runner,
Yeah,
to
it's
get
a
their
very
start.
good job on that outside pitch. Just what they need to do, not too much. Just put that there on the ball and it'll go.
That's a great effort by Maddie Scott. She's jumped over there. She's basically level behind the base at full extension. Could do no more there. Great attempt, as that brings right fielder Alex Maiden to the plate. So down by 5, middle of the game. You've already seen the picture for 1 or 2 innings. We're not doing anything to create here. We're just going to bat our way back into this game, ladies.
Yeah, I think because you need more than just a bunt right now. You need a score of runs.
And I think ACT, too, is doing a great job keeping the energy in the dugout. You can hear them through the microphone, just kind of screaming for each batter, waiting for everybody to kind of do their job.
Yeah, they're not doing too much. They're not letting go right now. They're fighting for sure.
So Adams selfishly taking all the plays over at third as Maiden grounds out with a hard shot to third base. Great block by Benithan, keeping the ball in front, keeping the runner pinned at second, as South Australia pick up that important second out with that ground out to Adams. Coming to the plate now is the DP, Michaela Tui. Goes with that pitch just to keep it, just to keep herself in the count. So the ACT, runner at 2, 2 out, top of the 4th. Benithan doing a great job catching those balls low and inside.
And I'm loving ACT's base runner leading off as hard as she can, trying to make everybody on the field make it look like she's stealing. That's aggressive base running right there.
So we just got a quick pause there. At the Nationals, we've got the 2 bullpens are live in the field. So up in the right field fence, ACT have got another pitcher warming up. And Blue just passing the news that just make sure you got a mask on while you're up there. So good pitching there, keeping Tui working, and gets rung up outside.
Great pitch by Georgia Hood right there.
I'm just going to see that here on the replay. Just freezes her at the plate, asks the question, and Blue thinks it's good enough. Great vision by our partners at Spacequake Sports. Producer Brandon doing a great job as always. So, looking forward to the second half of the season. So supposedly it's going to get warmer here in Adelaide. That's what
We're hoping.
Somebody's told you that. So the experience been so good that we're going to come back in the future, or are you going to stay for a bit longer, or what's the plan? So obviously, Jess, you're talking about you've just played in Germany. Are you cycling back to the US and then back to Germany, or what's the
No,
go?
I'm actually headed straight to Germany in April for a second season with the Bond Capitals.
Yeah.
And then we're looking here and maybe New Zealand for next year.
Very good, very good. Obviously, New Zealand, where Australian men's softball team, the Steelers, just world champions in a great tournament just recently. So well done to them. So Germany, what's Germany like in comparison to here as far as the level have you found?
I would say the level of comp is a little bit better over here.
Yeah.
Within the clubs, there's always a couple great ball players, but as a whole, I would say, yeah, the competition is definitely better over here.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting coming here because you got players on team that are national team members. You know, you got Belle White up to bat, and she's got the Olympic rings tatted on her, and then you got players on the same team that are just there socially. So it's definitely interesting to see the mix.
Bottom of the 4th, leading off for South Australia is superstar shortstop Taylor Chillingworth. So that's some. Obviously, just there's an opportunity out there when you're playing in Germany, Jess. Is there lots of other players like doing what you're doing?
So each team in Germany, at least, I don't know about all around Europe, but at least in Germany, you're only allowed 2 imports.
Oh, okay. So there's obviously a base. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
growing the sport there. That's awesome. Chillingworth just grounding out to shortstop for the first out there. Great play by Caitlin Savage as she stays low off of the hard ball from Chillingworth. Comes up and makes a really good play over to Nolan at first. Callahan follows her up with a foul down the left field line. So they're growing, because Germany's obviously wouldn't be known as a softball powerhouse by any stretch, but they're growing.
Not. Yes, for sure. They were actually allowed 3 imports last year, but they actually just brought the rule back down to 2 this upcoming season. So.
Oh, here we go. Bit of drama. Not even. Here we go. And here comes Coach McCready. So just
looks like an illegal pitch right there.
It was just called for an illegal pitch down the third base line there. So. All right. Wow, that's exciting. Drama, I love drama. That's all. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, because we know we've had a couple of players that have gone out to the Netherlands and stuff like that, and they've come back saying great things about their experience on the journey as well. So. That is awesome. It's awesome what you're doing here in Adelaide at the moment. It's awesome to watch, as Callahan goes bang down the third base line, getting the ball past Caitlin Savage as she becomes South Australia's lead-off runner in the bottom of the 4th. The dangerous Maddie Scott coming to the plate. 7-2, we wouldn't be bunting there, would we?
No, not with Maddie Scott.
Just heard the audible call from the catcher from ACT. The way that Maddie Scott's hit the ball tonight, I would be pretty much just letting her do as she pleases.
Yes, for sure.
She's swinging a very heavy bat at the moment is Maddie Scott. As she just continues to keep putting the ball in play hard. Great batting by Maddie Scott as she goes up the middle. I've just gone back to the comments and just found out that somebody did light me up for my VCR dad joke from before. So at least Lamb, that one wasn't around her head. She was just able to get her foot out of the way there. So doesn't get any easier as Sophie Roberts comes to the plate, takes a change up. South Australia now with 1 out, runners at 1 and 2. Roberts at the plate. So all of a sudden, an innings away from an early night as Roberts leans back and goes bang out to the left field fence as she clears left field. Ball bounces off the fence. She scores Callahan. She scores Scott. Roberts, stand up, double. Didn't get all of it. That felt like it was high up the bat, and she still had enough power to get the ball to left field.
Yeah, Sophie Roberts is a great hitter. She's a great player. I play with her for Walkerville. But she's got some power, man, so she just has to make contact and the ball can go for miles.
And she definitely barreled that one through.
Yeah.
Sophie Roberts, superstar in softball, also a great cricketer as well.
Yeah, isn't she like on the national team for cricket or something?
She's got some plaudits there as well.
Yeah.
Talented athlete that
Yeah.
can do everything, and she's not even 23. Here we go, Ruby Fidge. Hard act to follow after Roberts. She chases 2 pitches high. Ruby behind in the count. South Australia 1 out. Savage, oh my God, what an effort that was as Fidge fouls out to the third base line. Caitlin Savage leaves it all on the field and gets up and close with the fence in a big way as she's eyes only for the ball there. She's not even looking. Oh, now she sees that there's a fence there. Wow.
That's a great job by ACT. You can see, like, doesn't matter what the score is, they're still playing their hearts out right now.
Ruby Fidge behind in the count, fouls one off, and then just sits up and puts that ball up the middle, just inside the pitcher and the shortstop. Great piece of batting there, behind in the count. Advances Roberts over to third, Fidge over to first, and Neve Adams also having a good night, comes to the plate, takes an early strike as SA 1 out. Bases 1 and 3 are full. SA 9, ACT 2. Chasing that one hard. So the ACT, that first 10-15 minutes, they were sharp, they were switched on, there was a heap of energy, and then SA just answered with those quick runs straight away, and since then the ACT just haven't been able to recreate that offensive pressure, and SA have just kept the pressure on the ACT pitches all night. Neither of them have had another chance to settle. Adams, watchful as she takes a pitch high.
Yeah, like ACT came out, they scored first, and then SA, they just kept their energy up. They didn't care. It was like, nope, we're fine, doesn't matter, they just got 2, whereas I feel ACT just hasn't responded in that same way.
Adams gets the pitch she wants, sees all of it, but good change of pace there by Lamb as she fouls it off down the third base line. I saw that somebody had mentioned before that Lamb currently playing for Weatherford College in the US. So change up in the air for an awfully long time, gives Blue plenty of time to look at it, and absolutely certain that it was a ball. And full count here for Adams, and swings and misses as Lamb wins that battle, as SA now move to 2 out. But back to the top of the lineup, and on fire, Hayley Benithan comes to the plate. So Victoria have got a run back against Queensland in the second game on Diamond 2 here at the Under-23 Nationals at West Beach. They've got one back, but Queensland have then answered and replied themselves. So Queensland 2, Victoria 1. Just trying to... So Queensland has scored in the first and the second. Victoria has scored in the second as well. So... Speaking of games with big implications, that one also, there's a bit on it. Victoria have had a very positive start to the tournament. Queensland today had a tough game against our invitational team from East Texas Baptist University. What a team they are. Lit up South Australia on Wednesday in a big way. That's not how you'd sort of treat your host on the first day, but they did. They smashed us, and then they've come out to the defending Under-23 National Championships and put them to the sword as well.
Yeah.
Power hitting all the way down the lineup. Like that, as Benithan doesn't get all of it, but she's quick, but not quick enough to beat out the play from second base player who's been in the action a bit tonight. She's had a couple of rockets hit at her over at second, Michaela Facer, but that time she gets a ground out and makes the most of it. Did you catch any of the broadcast today, East Baptist playing tonight? Okay.
I was working.
Sorry, obviously my notes, I didn't, I should have checked in and seen what you were doing. You're probably working. That's
yes, sorry.
No, but just, yeah, they are lights out. They are super sharp in the field. Their pitches are on point. And on top of that, they're the nicest people you will ever meet.
That's tough, man. Because like when they're just beating you and you can't even max, they're just good people.
They came in at lunchtime today, and seriously, I have never seen 20 people more polite, more friendly, more just great people to be around. You sort of just want to just sit there and listen.
Yeah.
And, so they're only here for a few days. They've got a couple of games tomorrow, one on Saturday before they hit the airport and continue their tour. But they've been a great invitational guest here. Even if they are braining whoever they play, far out.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Joyce, but I remember in travel ball when you played the travel teams from Hawaii, and they're just good.
Yeah.
Like, they're very good. They'll go out there and just cream you 20 to 10 or something. Then they hand you Lay's and, like, macadamia nuts and all these, like, little presents from Hawaii. You're just like, wow, thank you. You're so nice, but, like, you just beat.
Yeah. Well, Did you get much experience with that type of stuff? Like, was that one of the really good highlights of playing in the college system in the US?
That was actually like in high school, like growing up. So that was
really?
travel ball, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I would
was-
say that was like my favorite time during
Yes.
softball.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, you get to go away on tournaments, spend the whole weekend with your teammates, and
Yeah.
no parents around, just playing some games on the weekends. Yeah, so that was a great time in our lives, I would
Yeah,
say.
you're leaving school early on a Friday
Yeah,
or Thursday,
right.
heading down to LA. I mean, that's what we headed down to LA like every
Yeah.
weekend. So you're leaving Thursday at school.
That sounds terrible, heading to LA every
Oh, it was
weekend.
awful.
I mean,
just
I don't know.
excruciating.
I don't know how you traveling softballers do it. Speaking of traveling, Talia Saunderson has had to travel back off the plate twice now as Hood attacking the inside part of the plate as SA looking for 3 outs to get a early win and an early reprieve on Thursday night softball here. She just pokes at that one and Hood does her own fielding. South Australia get the important first out. ACT, it's come right off the end of the bat there. Could be playing.
Yeah, great job by Georgia Hood not panicking in that situation. She's like, oh, I got the ball still. Doesn't matter, I'll stand up and throw.
Back to the top of the lineup as the catcher, Sophie Lawrence, comes to the plate. SA 2 outs away now from an early night. But Lawrence not having any of that as she flies it out to left field, but Charlie Callahan, good enough, traditionally an infielder, but in this team she's playing outfield for South Australia, judges that ball well at left field and takes a catch. And just like that, bang, we're at 2 out, and SA 1 out away from a valuable 2 points and a couple of game buffer on the teams beneath them. ACT desperate here to score a run to keep this game alive and make SA bat again and push it hopefully into a 6th. Michaela Facer is the batter. Change up, Georgia Hood comes off the end of the bat, gets behind the pitcher. Shillingworth comes charging in, big smile and enjoying her night of work. ACT get their base runner, the tall shortstop, Caitlin McCready, daughter of a gun, at the plate, trying to keep ACT alive a bit longer here. Attacks the first pitch. Goes again, trusting her hands. Hood, good enough to get it. Another strike. So, could this be it? 2 out, 2 strikes on the batter. ACT, runner at first, down by 7 in the 5th. And she's just sat on that one and done a great job of putting that ball into left centre field. Jorgensen comes in, fields the ball, and great base running by Facer as she picks up the extra bag, makes it to 3. McCready makes it to 2. Jorgensen doesn't allow them to get to home, but all of a sudden, ACT shows some fight right at the end.
Yeah, it's a great job by the batter, just making sure that her team stays alive, doing her job.
Yeah, and that leadoff hitter getting on base first just kind of gets some momentum going and lit the fire.
Yeah, they're showing South Australia they're not done yet.
The other daughter of a gun, Sam McCready, centre fielder, is the one that the job has been left to here at 2 out. 1 run in will force SA to bat again. Takes a pitch on the outside.
And I think you had mentioned earlier that it was Haley and Georgia's first time throwing together.
I believe so, yeah.
You can tell throughout the game they've gotten a lot more comfortable with each other, and I think Haley's calling pitches for Georgia right now.
Yeah. Haven't
but
seen
she's-
much off the bench in that regard, but
Yeah.
there's definitely the changing of pace
Yes, exactly.
has definitely happened more, whereas Georgia just seemed wanting to come in and throw fireballs right from the outset, and but yeah, a great point. Great
Yeah,
point,
and
Jess.
Haley's doing a great job working in and out on those counts.
Yeah, she's super impressive, Benithan. Seen some of her tape of some of her games in college and some of the actual old Spacequake stuff a couple of seasons before she left, and she's super player, but she has just come back and been outstanding, even in club ball. Great block there as she keeps it.
And
Oh.
Haley's honestly one of the nicest girls I've ever met. 'Cause she plays for Walkerville as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so she kind of just showed up. Was like, hey guys, like, what do you need? Do you
She's
guys
not
need
from
help?
East Texas at the moment, is she? She's not like that school as well. And there it is.
Great pitch.
Georgia Hood on the outside. A great night as Hood and Benithan have formed a super partnership there, as just as quick as you like, in an hour and 20 minutes, it's all done. 9-2 to South Australia over ACT, giving them a valuable couple of points as we quickly just rush over to the game on Diamond 2. In the top of the third, Queensland have picked up another run as they go 3-1 ahead on Victoria, against Victoria. You can follow that game on Box Score or through the webpage. Alicia Peters, Jess Golden, we didn't get a great opportunity to talk much. There was too much happening. Everybody was smashing the ball, but thank you for you two superstars giving us some time tonight on a beautiful 10 degrees down here at West Beach and giving us some amazing insight into what was a really dominant win by SA when you think about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Georgia Hood did her job in the circle, and then she also did the job at the bat. She was a big hitter for this game as well as most of her teammates.
Yeah, I mean, once South Australia came back in the first inning, I mean, they were on a roll the whole rest of the game, so they didn't let up. It was nice to see them being as aggressive as they were.
Awesome. There you have it. So again, two superstars in the house, on the mic. Great insight tonight. Thank you to them for that. Tomorrow we are back at 3 p.m. for the next set of games, and tomorrow on the tube it's going to be Queensland, the defending national champions, against Victoria. So thank you for your time and everything tonight. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Amazing. And thank you for everybody watching at home, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah, hi Mom, hi Dad.
Oh, sorry, Jess, there you go.